So what I might do now is switch focus to going and grabbing the sponges so I can drain these pits and then remove the sand so I can reclaim it and then make more of the pits. All right, so while I was off camera, I finished putting up some of the walls here, and clearly I didn't get through all of it. So here's what I want to do now. I want to go and grab the sponges from the inside of the ocean temple. We have enough sand here to the point where we can start reclaiming it. So as soon as I start draining these pits here, the sand that's between each of them, I can then reclaim and use that to keep building the rest of the pits. And it kind of gets a lot quicker from there. So that's what I'm going to focus on for now. What I need to go grab some water breathing potions. And then I'm going to need to grab the sponges. And after that, we're going to go to the nether and dry them out. Just because I could put them in a furnace, but then I have to waste coal and also time. And if you put them physically down in the nether, they immediately dry out. I definitely saw for sure at least two sponge rooms. I hope there's a third, because I think each one has like around 20 or so in them. I should really also go grab the remaining 3 from, I just have no idea where I put them, but when I actually killed the Elder Guardians, they drop some. Oh, wow. I turned off my shaders for now, just because it's going to be easier to navigate this without it, at least for the time being. They are very angry at me. But I'm pretty decently sure that the sponge rooms spawn mostly at the top. Okay, here's one. I don't actually know what, like, the appropriate tool to mine this is, but I'm just going to use my pickaxe for now, because I feel like I don't really have much of a choice anymore. Okay, there are at least 2. These are definitely the 2 that I saw earlier. So, I'm not sure that there's a third one, but this is going to be enough to at least get us started. Now, I definitely knew for a fact that there were 2. I don't know that I actually saw a third one. So, I feel like it would be kind of a waste of my time to check, at least for now, because I'm gonna clear out this while I'm keeping like the actual like outside structure. I am gonna hollow it out, so eventually, by that logic, I'm gonna end up running into the other sponges anyway, if there happen to be any more. I'm not sure that there are. Oh, there is a third one. Okay. Cool. I completely just found that on accident, but good to know. I really should Google whether or not these are the same every single time, because that would be an awesome question to have answered. I don't think that they are. There's no way. Well, I didn't find the way out, but I found more sponges, so that's great. Okay, this looks like it here. Yep. All right. So now I can go right up to my nether portal and drop the sponges in here and then come back and start emptying pits. And I've got, it's kind of convenient I don't have ice down here. So I got a stack of 25. I literally just place them. They dry out immediately. And then I can pick them right back up and use them to empty out the pits. Before I can start taking sand down, 2 pits adjacent need to be out. Well, that's gonna suck. I need to figure out what tool is used to mine these faster, because I have to manually pick all of these up. I kind of have a weird feeling that it might be shears. My ender chest is right outside the portal. Let me go grab some shears and check. All right. It's not shears. Is it a hoe? I do have a diamond hoe that I can at least use for now. It is a hoe. Weird. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go at some point start working on making a netherite hoe, just because there are a few blocks like sponges that it's best to have for. They're weird. And also, I just found this out, but if you put fortune on a hoe, apparently you get like 3 times the crops. I had no idea. I kind of thought it was one of those weird ones where it just like, even if you had fortune on it, it just didn't drop anything more, but I was very wrong on that. I found that out literally the other day. This process kind of sucks, but not really. It just depends on the size of the pit. So like these bigger ones back here, they're kind of unavoidable and I have to deal with them anyway. And these are easier to do, but the bigger ones, they just take so many more sponges to do. But literally, it's just placing them wherever it seems like the most water is until you hit the bottom. And then you gotta pick them all back up, bring them back into the nether, dry them out, and then go at it again. It really, really sucks. Like, we already used whatever 64 minus 49 is. It's ridiculous. And typically when I've done this in the past, it's been basically entirely with other people. So it sucks. I mean, I've built I think I've built 2 of these on my own. And doing it without people just is miserable. It takes so long to do. You can see just how much easier the 4x4 pits are to do. And the sponges are much, much easier because I can just fall down on them up from the top. But then we have a new danger, and that is fall damage. If I fall in these pits, I've got feather falling, so it's okay, but it's not very forgiving. You know, it's still a pretty significant distance, and if I fall enough, you know, without eating, it'll be a problem. I also have to make sure that I'm like actually getting all the sponges back and I'm not leaving any, because these aren't like an item that's just like super easy to go get. You know, I have to go, if I wanted more of them, I would have to go clear a whole nother ocean monument. And I really just don't want to do that. You know, I've got my hands full enough with this one. And so now that that's done, I can take some torches and quite literally, you know, 4 torches is all it takes, and we've reclaimed this entire wall worth of sand that I can then go and place somewhere else on the build. So for now, I'm just going to keep draining the pits that are like ready to be drained. And then once I've reclaimed most of the sand, we'll get back to it. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull the shulker boxes that I had the sand back out, so I can have somewhere to put it. Yeah, it took 23 sponges to do a big one and a small one. So I should be able to do a good number of small ones, at least for now. Oh, see, but then you miss like 1 water block on accident. And it becomes a problem. So you gotta make sure you're always doing it where the highest block of water is. Honestly, maybe what I'll do, I don't really want to spend that much time breaking sponges right now. So maybe what I'll do is I'll drain all the pits I can first with the sponges that I do have, and then I'll collect them. I think that's probably more efficient than grabbing each one of them after. Yeah, because I've still got like 54, so I might as well do that. Looks like it takes probably around 7 or 8 or so, depending on how well I place them. It is kind of fun, a little bit. It's a lot less irritating to do than some of the other tasks. Like once you actually have the pits ready for draining, especially when it's not like the big pits, the small ones are okay. Like those are tolerable. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and break the sponges and then bring them back to the nether. That's funny because I kind of use the sponges themselves as like platforms to make it so I can mine the other sponges. If you break the wrong one, too, it kind of makes it more irritating to get them after the fact as well. I mean, look at that. That's already like 7 stacks that we've reclaimed without even having to go back to like the desert. And, you know, that's a pretty fair amount of a shulker box worth. I'm only going to get more of that as I drain these. So, I mean, there's a real chance I probably won't even need to go back to the desert as long as I keep following this routine. And then after that, I'll have like way more than enough sand to do whatever I'll ever need again, which would be very, very nice. This task in particular would be miserable without an elytra. And honestly, it's amazing that when me and my friends build this, we typically do it before having an elytra, which is insane. I don't even know what our process is when we do this, because like being able to fly out of the pits. Oh, you know what? I think I remember. We just break one of these blocks of sand and we use the water to swim up it. I think that's what we do, but it's a lot easier to do this specific farm after already having an elytra. It'd be nice if I had efficiency 5 on this right now, because these would probably break instantly, but I don't know. Now I'm kind of regretting not going all the way with a netherite hoe when I did that stream. Oh! Actually, that's something I have to watch out for, is when there's guardians in here. When I go back to the nether, there will be some pits that have guardians in them now. So I need to remember that. Oh, and I should also mention, as we do this, there is now less area for guardians to exist, which means that the water, the places that have water remaining get angrier, which is kind of how this whole farm works, is we're taking away the places that they can spawn and only giving them specific places that they can spawn. And because of that, it puts all of the guardians it would in that one spot. So by the time we get finished draining this, the last pits that remaining are going to be so incredibly hostile, and it's gonna be just a bitch to do. It is not gonna be a fun task at all. Oh, I forget that they make different noises when they're out of water. It's like, it just doesn't happen very often unless you're doing this kind of exact thing. They're annoying. That much is true. When it comes to the farm itself, they suck to listen to. Like, it's so much better to like AFK there on mute, because they are annoying as shit. Okay, back to it. I took a little minute to take a break there. I gotta get all of these sponges out of these pits, but that's a full 2 rows worth of pits drained here, and I've got a good bit of sand reclaimed. So as soon as I do this, I'm gonna reclaim the rest of the sand from this wall and the ones that intersect here, and then I'm gonna get back to placing more sand, you know, now that I've got a bunch more of it. I really should go work on this hoe at some point, because I didn't think it was gonna be this useful, but in recent years, they've been making it so that a hoe is like the native tool to break a lot of different blocks you couldn't break like super fast before. Like, I think it works on like some of the nether blocks, and I think it works on leaves too. So like, if you don't want to pick up the leaves, you can just use it to break them faster. There's a whole bunch of like blocks that you can use, or you can break faster now with a hoe that you didn't used to be able to. So it's kind of nice to see the hoe getting a little bit more use. But, you know, it's always just on the last of my priority list, because it really feels like there's not much of a reason to do it. You know, because its primary purpose is still always going to be farming, like, the whole time. It's only late game, once you, like, start to need tools that can break stuff faster for efficiency's sake, that you start to realize how nice it is to have even the weird tools, like, maxed out. I don't know. I probably will do that before I finish wrapping up this season here. I'm glad there were 3 sponge rooms, too, because otherwise, this would have been a much longer process to complete. It just makes it a lot easier for me to, you know, the more sponges I have, the more pits I can drain without having to go back to the nether and dry them out. It'd be even worse if I, you know, decided to do this before even having, like, access to the nether, which I think me and my friends have done before. And it was miserable because you have to manually dry out the sponges in furnaces, and it takes so much time to do. They can only be dried out in normal furnaces too, so there's nothing you can do to speed up that process. This part isn't difficult, it's just annoying and a little bit tedious, because you have to, like, know what sponge to stand on, so that when you break them, you know, you don't have to, like, fly up over and over again multiple times in the same pit to get rid of them all. You know, I just have to make sure that it's, like, a reasonable, like, I could break this one from here, but the one I'm standing on, Like, I wouldn't want to fall on the one below me because I don't think I could break it. But from this one, I could break it. But I don't think I could break it from there. We've made this enough times now to the point where, you know, at least for me and my friends, it's kind of routine. And I've just kind of come to expect that this is always going to be a process that takes forever, and there's really no better way of doing it. It's nice that, you know, the sponges are in the ocean temple already, so I don't have to go, like, find them somewhere else. But the process just never gets any easier. It's just super, super tedious every time. Feather falling is also a huge help. Like, if I didn't have feather falling, you know, I'm fine with taking a hit to get to the bottom of these pits and taking fall damage as I, like, jump down each one of the sponges. But if I didn't have feather falling, this process, while possible, would just not even be anywhere near as manageable as this is. Like, having the elytra makes a late game project like this so much more efficient, and cuts so much time off of it. Like, I don't think, you know, that the Nether Highway is helping a ton, but the actual building process of this is significantly reduced just because I have an elytra. Okay. All of these are drained now, so I'm going to take out the sand between them. I've got a stack and a half left of torches. That might be enough, but I've got these other torches that I used to get rid of the sand already, so I can just grab those when I need them. Oh, wait. Oh, right. There's still water in that one. Okay, I need to go from this direction instead then. I mean, that's an entire wall, like, perimeter wall worth of sand, so that'll probably fill up, like, shulker box and a half at least. Oh. So that's the nice thing. You really only need a certain amount of sand, because once you get to the point where you can reclaim all the sand, you know, it gets a lot easier. This is gonna come in clutch later when I, like, don't need it anymore either, because I'd imagine at some point, they're just way down the line, I'm gonna do a build that's gonna involve just obscene amounts of, like, glass or something, or, like, concrete powder, and I'll be like, oh, I need sand, and all of a sudden, I have all of this extra sand that I won't even know what to do with, and I'll be able to utilize it for that instead. So even though, like, it's a kind of a temporary thing for this build, it may still end up being useful later on, you know? I'm not just gonna throw it all away. And that's all the sand I can reclaim at the moment. And that leaves us with... Let's see. Where's the shulker box? Okay. That leaves us with an entire shulker box and maybe like a third of one. And that's not even, like, there's still extra sand here that I can reclaim once I've dried out the sponges. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any real reason for me to go back to the desert. I think I've probably got all the sand I'll need to get this project done here. Oh, hello. I'm going to get rid of you because you have a Nautilus shell, and I don't think I have any of those yet. Yeah. You can do something with that now, can't you? I thought there was a, oh, that's the next update. The, rideable Nautiluses or something? It has something to do with those. Did I just throw my sword through the portal? I think I did. I don't know. I think the Nautilus shells are a little bit more useful now than they used to be. But there's also something else. Oh yeah, you can make a conduit. Maybe I should work on getting a conduit. I'm gonna need 9 Nautilus shells to do that. I forget what the item in the middle is. But if I make a conduit, I can breathe underwater. And then maybe I won't need to, like, waste all of my water-breathing potions I got still. I should at least put unbreaking on this hoe, because probably by the end of this, you know, I'm going to have mined these sponges so many times that the durability on this hoe is probably going to be out. I've got more than enough diamonds to make, like, new ones easily. But now that I kind of see how useful a hoe can actually be, I feel like I want to, like, go and complete, you know, a full netherite hoe. The hard part about that's going to be the enchants at this point. You know, I'm down to level 27 as I've been, like, renaming things and finishing up my armor. So I'm going to have to, like, actually go and get more levels again. Which I guess... You know, that's kind of what we're doing right now, is building a farm to help us get more levels. So I guess this is kind of working towards our goal for that. Okay, I'm gonna drain these pits, and then there's one row on that axis that I can also drain, and then reclaim the sand before I actually start placing the sand again. There's a huge salmon. Oh my god, I forgot they did that. That was something that came out of Bedrock Edition first, was they made it so fishes can like be like any size really. And I totally forgot that they did that. Because that came out of Bedrock Edition first. All right, so with all the pits I've drained so far, that gives us a shulker box and almost 3/4, or almost a full shulker box worth of sand back from that. And that's not even counting the sand from this wall right here. But now you can really kind of see where we're going with this. You know, we're slowly starting to open this up. Now, the bigger issue that's going to happen here is now that we've got sand back again, and I have to start placing it, you know, in the remaining area. As we do that, we just removed all of this areas for guardians to spawn, and because of that, they will spawn more frequently in the water that's remaining. Which means as I'm placing the sand, they're going to attack me more and more until all of the water is gone. It's a miserable process, which, again, is the principle on how this farm works. But it's going to get much more difficult in a minute here. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to call it here. Because you guys have kind of seen, you know, the whole process here. And then my next episode, what I'll do is it'll be the actual building of the farm. You know, so this first part will be draining and the second part will be building. But I think you guys kind of get the gist of this. So I'm probably just going to do the rest of this off camera. I more or less just wanted you guys to see, you know, the process and how exactly it's accomplished. So with that, I think I'm going to talk to you guys in the next one.